Hey everybody, and welcome back to our channel.
Hey everybody, guess what? That guy messed up and he actually deleted the voice track for this video. Basically, I use a lavalier microphone that I record, and that audio track got deleted, so we're stuck with the poor microphone that's in that camera. And I do apologize, but the alternative is no video for you guys, and I don't really want that, so yeah. Bear with me guys, headphone users, 20% volume should be good. Alright, back to more on here.
Today is a bit of a weird video. It's one that I haven't done in a long while. It's server related. Server-ish. If you look at Linus's server stuff, mine is kindergarten. But I have this, which is my NAS, that I've been running since we built it here on the channel, and a little bit before that as well. If you check out this video, wherever it pops up, you notice that I put in a CryoRig CPU cooler for it, which has been working up until now. I'm not entirely sure what's wrong with it, but the fan is now very, very hard to turn, and it sort of struggles to do so. And to mitigate, I took a basic 92mm chassis fan and just slapped it loosely on top. That's helped keep the CPU cold enough for it to function, and it's kept the blades on the CPU cooler spinning, or maybe it's helping it or something. But it is time for a little bit of an upgrade. I bought this, which is the Noctua NHL9X65, which is a 65mm high CPU cooler, which I should have clearance for. If I remove one of the brackets that is usually on top of here, that has a little fan on it that helps exhaust fans.
Say what?
A bracket that holds a little fan that helps just remove the heat from the case. Not very well, mind you, but it does. And to replace it, I also bought this, which is the Noctua NF A6X25FLX, which is a case fan. It's 60mm by 25, which I have a slot for back here. I've got a slot for two of them, but I only bought one because it's probably good enough. We will also be installing, this was something I figured out today, just before shooting it, that, similar to this fan, which is a noise blocker ultra quiet fan. Not very good fans, stay away if you can. Lasts extremely short time, and yeah, they're a noise blocker because they don't do anything. So I'm throwing in the fans that came with the case, which are some Sunnen fans, probably a cheap brand somewhere. Very, very noisy fans. So these will also be replaced with Noctuas, but these weren't in stock anywhere. And also I figured it out today, so it wouldn't have helped anyway if they had them in stock, because same day delivery in Norway. Yeah, no. As part of the upgrade, I have my trusty Corsair 5 Formula Z, it's called, with my old CPU in it, the one that I used for gaming. It's the FX9590, which is not a very good CPU, but it will be good enough for this use. It's got a little bit more cores, a little bit more core speed, and I've also got 16 gigabytes of DDR4 1600 megahertz RAM that will swap in. It's currently running 4, I think. 4? Yeah, 4 or 6. No, 4 or 8. I can't remember. So I'll either be tripling it or doubling it, dependent. But, and that's a big but, the RAM is going in anyways, but the motherboard is another thing. Because the Noctua cooler doesn't come with a backplate, and neither does this. Well, it does come with a backplate, but I've removed it to install a water block. And the EK water block uses a bit thicker screws than the Noctua fan does. So I'll try and see if I can salvage the backplate of this, because it's the same socket. Maybe the screw size will match up. If not, we'll have to postpone it for tomorrow. But for you, it'll be just like in the video, and we'll be back and doing it. But yeah, we'll figure it out. It'll be a little bit of an investigation as we go through and see what we can do. Yes, I could just keep that socket in there and just slap the cooler on, but again, it's the backplate thingy. So we'll see. If we have to get screws, we can use the EK backplate, which it's a millimeter thicker screws. But what you can do. What can you do? Alright, so let's re-rig the camera a bit and get to it. Alright, here it is. It's very, very basic. It's got a El Cheapo XFX graphics card just for video, nothing else. Alright, let's figure out what these are. Corsair Dominator GTs, that's what they were. They are 4 GB chips, so there's 8 GB in it right now, but we will be upgrading that nevertheless, if we have to stick with the motherboard or not. Also, one thing that I did forget to mention is that the power supply is not mine. This one that I had borrowed, or a friend of mine borrowed the one that was in here, and I'm going to be getting that back. But I'm missing all the cables for this, and the new setup will require some other connectors. So you will be swapping in this cheap, what's it called, Newton Power 410 watt, just for now, because I'm missing the EPS power that fits this motherboard, but this one has it. I could try to run it with it first, just to see, but I'm also running into issues where I do not have Molex connectors for the fans, and I do need to swap these fans because they are terrible fans. So I think we'll be swapping this one out for the El Cheapo one just for now, and I'll swap it afterwards when I get it.
Well, you're not going to believe it, because I hardly can myself. These are the screws that come with the Noctua ones. You saw me take this back plate off, and of course it had no threads in it. It had these stupid little nuts that go in from the back, because I remember now that the C7 is actually screwed in from the back. And of course the Noctua screws are a different thread, which means they don't work. But out of sheer luck, I found this bag of just miscellaneous screws that I had lying around. I do have a lot of these laying around. Don't ask me why. But in it were 4 of these, which matches up to the threads that are in the EK backplate. So we can use this, and we're hunky-dory. Alright, it is the morning after. As you might notice, I am differently dressed and a lot more awake. This kept going through the night, installing free NAS, la-di-da-di, setting everything up, rebooting, stuff that it needs to do. One thing that I did notice yesterday, just before I went to bed, and I think it's kind of interesting for you guys as well, but I think it's due to the fans. the Sunnen fans. They sound like they're doing a hell of a job, and you know, you can feel the breeze. Like, it's certainly blowing a lot of air through the case, which is well. Part of the problem with the heat in this case is also the fact that all the fans were located on the cold side of things. On the top side, where there is the heat from the drives, from the PSU, from the CPU, from the chipset, everything, there was no fans. So it's blowing up a storm of cold air on this side. On this side, luckily, where I installed the Noctua fan, I do believe I will be getting a second one, just because the air is a lot more hotter on this side. Not right now though, because right now it's really blowing well, but let me move the camera and I'll show you what I mean. So this is the cold side of things, where all the fans are, and this is the hot side of things, where all the heat are. I don't know if you can see this well, but due to the lighting conditions. But on the front panel, where the two fans are located and sucking in air, there's this filter, call it whatever you want, it's more like a piece of sponge, but okay. There's this grill, and then there's this locking front door. But let me show you what happens when it's in this configuration. So when it's in this configuration, if I slide this over, you'll see there is quite a lot of actual wind or air being pushed through. If I close up, I'm removing the filter now from the little latch. I'm just closing the latch. Okay, I'm going to put the filter in place. And now I'm going to close the locking outer door. There is hardly any airflow at all through this case now. This doesn't only affect the side where these fans are, it also affects the hot side. So as you can see, the Noctua fan is doing a very good job blowing air. I put the filter in. Let's close it with that filter. That's still maintaining it, sort of. It's sort of resting on the cables as well. So let's pull it back a bit so it will clear the cables. But you can see it's still holding, you know. Right, let's put the filter in. It's still pushing a lot of air. Let's close the outer lock. There is so much restrictions in this front panel, or I think it's sort of a two-part problem. I think that the fans are very, very bad as well. So what I'm going to do is, for now, I'm going to order 2 Noctua fans, and whilst I wait for them to arrive, I'm going to remove the front doors, both the little latch and the door, because frankly I don't need them in my setup. There's no one that's going to enter that room without me knowing it, and there's no need for the lock. The hardware bit of the upgrade is now done, so we can go ahead and install it back in the rack, and I'll configure it off camera because that's of no interest to you guys. If you liked this sort of server update, please let me know in the comments below, and I might bring you along for the next video as well. Alright guys, remember, like and subscribe, and if you wish to get notified when we upload, please click the little bell notification, and see you in the next video. Bye bye!